What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podio Slay podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony and Nate. How you boys doing tonight?
That was so Radio Johnny. I love it. Radio
Super
Tony.
radio.
Tones, if this is your first episode, Tony does not usually sound like that, but I liked it.
Yeah, never. And actually, you know what? I'm channeling Rob's radio section behind Nate there because he's at Rob's house doing the intro with us. And I can see where Rob used to do his morning radio show right behind you.
That is funny. You do have like a script, though. You have like a kind of a normal script, but it's not super systematic, which we can all appreciate.
It's pretty systematic at this point. It's like it's scratching an itch. I just do it without even thinking, breathing.
It's a format. It's not artificial. It's a format. It's like the Conan O'Brien show, the intro. You need some kind of stage for what we're about to geek at, I guess, right?
Yeah, and I'm standing right now and I'm doing the Conan, like pulling himself up like a puppet and then cutting the end. I'm doing that right now in my
I missed that shit.
In my studio.
I missed that.
Do you practice though? That's the question.
No. God,
in
no.
the car, you have.
Nope, wing it.
You have in the car. I've heard from reliable source.
Never. I have never practiced that.
I was outside of the shower. I heard you.
Weird. That's different. No, I've never practiced that. I mean, I have practiced doing it. We're 300 and whatever episodes in. So I think, when did I take them over? Like episode 70? So yeah, I've got a lot of practice doing it, but no, I don't think I've ever actually practiced doing that. As, you know, evidenced by this is the second attempt at this intro. So
Hey, you're not supposed to tell anyone that.
Full Nurgle.
So we got a banger today, guys. You guys ever hear of a band called Smash Mouth?
I have, yes. I've heard of that band going on 30 years. Yep.
Early memories.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Early memories. So for me, was it middle school or high school? Middle school.
Middle school.
Middle
Yeah.
school.
Mike A from Texas. We smashed this record a ton, or their records a ton back day. And I just remember the album artwork and just like it seemed. I think we get into it, but like it seemed like retro then, and so it's kind of has that kind of swagger to it. But yeah, it brings me back to old times with Mike A.
What about you, Twan?
It comes up in the episode, the old Easter basket trick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got Fushu Mang in my Easter basket, so you can. I think that kind of ages me a little bit.
It does, yeah. I also got. I don't think I got this record in my Easter basket, but I definitely had it. The Fushu Mang, anyway. And I remember there was a stereo in my, like, in between the living room and the dining room. My mom and I would play cards when I was like 11, 12 years old, and hearing Walking on the Sun on the radio back then, because we put the radio on Q97.9.
See, they were one of those bands where they could cross over from WCOI alternative rock radio and, you know, Radio Johnny, like I'm doing now. Smash Mouth, here we go.
Pop radio too. Yep.
Pop radio, all that. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I had, and this comes up, I had Third Eye Blind self-titled and Fushu Mang in my Easter basket. I think those are the only two I got.
Well, two cool ones. And we get a little nerd tidbit about that right off the top here. So pretty early on in the episode, you get to hear something that I didn't know until Michael from the band Smash Mouth told us. Michael Klooster and Paul De Lisle, both been in the band for a very long time. Paul, founding member, Michael, pretty much on their first big tour, joined. I thought it was earlier than that. I fucked that up in the in the question coming up here. But, you know, don't believe everything you read off the internet, right?
Yeah, you read some AI bullshit, man. I don't know what you got.
Apparently. Yeah.
AI slop.
AI slop. Yeah. But really fun conversation with those guys, and a band that we never thought we'd have on the podcast. And that's the fun part about doing this is week to week, you get an email, you hear from somebody and they're like, hey, any interest in talking to these guys? And we're like, yeah, never in a million years did we think that we'd get that email. So absolutely. We love hearing about all this stuff. So let's do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it. It's what's lurking around the corner. You don't know what's going to come in. And this was an automatic yes. And to get folks in the band really from the start was huge. I mean, like I said, I had Fushu Mang. What was the second album?
Astro Lounge, right?
Astro Lounge. God damn.
Yeah. Nice.
They were on a heater, and they've continued at it. Like they have the new album that just dropped, right? Mercury Comet came out August 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Still making music, man.
Still having fun, still enjoying what they do, enjoying their craft. Like
Still
Paul,
touring.
I think, yeah. I think he said, like, what would you do when are you going to retire? Like, no, I don't want to retire. This is the most fun I'm ever going to have. I'm going to keep doing this. And comes through, man. They're fun guys. There was a fun conversation. Really excited to have been able to bring this one to, the pod heads out there, and man, I never knew. Just never knew. You never know what's going to be around the corner, and this was one, and we had to jump at it.
Yeah, if I'm Paul and I'm listening to what he's saying, it's probably funner than it's ever been. Why not keep it going? Like if someone asked us, "You're still doing that?" It's funner than ever. Why would I not do it? It's funner than when we started. It's way better. So I totally get that.
Yeah, when you said that, it really like inspired me a little bit. Like, oh, dude, like don't fuck the haters. Like this is what I love to do. I somehow made it. So why would you stop? I think he made like a David DLR, like David Lee Roth, like reference. Like one you saw him on this most recent tour. Like he's still doing it. Does he hit all the notes? No. Is he having a great time? Yes. Could you get to still hear all the songs? Yeah. So why the fuck not? Like go for it.
Yeah. You know what we should go for? The convo. Let's do it right now.
Let's
Michael
do it.
Klooster, Paul De Lisle, Smash Mouth coming in your ear holes right now.
All right, we got Paul, we got Michael from Smash Mouth. Guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We are very stoked, and anytime we get the opportunity to talk to somebody who's been doing it, people that have been doing it for as long as you guys have, we jump at it because we've been music fans for forever. I've got a story that you may not have heard before that involves your band and happened to me a couple of years ago out in the wild. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So my wife and I, every summer, head to this place in southern New Hampshire. It's a family camp that they have on a lake down there, middle of nowhere. It's beautiful, but the drive's a little long, so we split it up. We stop. We're near Dunkin' Donuts, and I walk into the Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee because the drive's a little longer. I want to get stay awake, stay alert, and I hear All Star playing, and I'm like, all right, cool. This is cool. Like usually you don't hear the music super loud in those places, but it was up really, really loud. And it's one of those 10-hour videos of just Steve saying, and the years stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't, for over and over again. I look at the kid behind the counter, and I'm like, hey, man. And he goes, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in an establishment, a Dunkin' Donuts. Like, how did you take control of the aux cord? Like that?
Are you guys familiar with that video on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it you playing it at the Dunks? Or?
We do some pickup gigs on
Middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. Yeah. It made me laugh, and I was like, I never thought I'd have the chance to tell people from the band that happened. So the fact that I got to do that tonight is a lifelong dream for me. So I appreciate you guys indulging my story.
All right.
That's awesome.
Good story.
As we say, full nerd moment, right? Full circle.
Love it.
Full nerd moment. Paul, Michael, we're in our early 40s. So when Fushu Man came out, I think we were like 11 or 12. And I think I got it in my Easter basket, if you can believe it.
Oh, nice.
I think I got the self-titled Third Eye Blind and the Smash Mouth Fushu Man album in my Easter basket.
Which one did you like better? Those are two pretty good albums.
Smash Mouth. Yeah. All day.
They're both recorded in the same room.
Yeah.
No way.
Wow, no shit.
That's pretty cool.
Same producer.
And then we went out on tour with them.
Same drummer as All Star.
Right. Yeah.
Damn.
Michael,
See, this is why we do this, to get these stories.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And literally like back to back recorded.
Yeah, they were still doing some fixes when we came in, and it was a studio in Redwood City called HOS Studio, Eric Valentine's studio. And Michael knew Eric. That's how we got him. And yeah, Redwood City was this studio in Redwood City that was just, I mean, it was right in between it was like in this industrial area where it was right in between like a welder and a mechanic. This you would never know that all records were made there, You'd never find it if you tried. It was very tucked away.
Wow.
And they were both smash, no pun intended, both smash albums.
Both records kind of under the radar too, like 97, like we're kids, right? Like 11 and 12. Like we play Third Eye Blind self-titled and your record like in the car with our parents and not feel like controversial until you kind of like got into the lyrics maybe, but surface level you would never know.
Yeah. It's interesting because how Third Eye Blind became such an influential record. Like about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, like a lot of kids were using that as one of their sources of their music. And I think like with Smash Mouth, it's just like this weird sort of like cultural thing that's just never gone away, which is pretty, like what you experienced at Dunkin' Donuts. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Right.
just a whole world.
The kid behind the counter had to be 16. Like it was probably his first job, and he's like, I'm gonna mess with the Oxiday and just mess with customers as they come in. Little did he know I'd pay attention to stuff like that, and I'm like, what are you doing back there?
Yeah.
So I got to ask, whose middle finger is that in the back seat of the car on the album cover?
That's Kevin Coleman's. He was our first drummer. He was
right.
for the first 2 albums. Yeah, that's Kevin.
Nice.
And that's correct guitar too. He still has it.
No way. He
That's
still
cool.
has it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So did you endorse the flipping off, or was it a controversial thing?
I don't know if we endorsed or didn't endorse anything back then,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We already had the parental guide, parental warning sticker on it. So, I didn't really notice it that much. In fact, I kind of forgot about it until you just brought it up.
Amazing. Michael, how did you end up playing on Walking on the Sun? Because obviously, like, you probably heard of the guys, knew them a little bit, but then you end up on that record, and now you're in the band for 30 years.
No, I did not play on Walking on the Sun.
You didn't?
No, Eric did.
Eric did. What did we read?
You read probably some AI shit.
Yeah, God damn it.
No, it's okay. But I mean, my part of it was basically, they recorded this record with Eric. Now, Eric, I worked at a studio called Music Annex in Menlo Park, and Eric was basically one exit over in Redwood City, but just they're all really close. And this for my side of it, I'll go to their side first. Like essentially, they recorded this record, and they got it onto the radio at K Rock, and it was an overnight situation where they immediately, like, it was on the radio, it was doing well, and they were instantly put on the road with Sugar Ray. And so they went out for 6 weeks, and Eric went with them. But Eric just recorded these 2 because the other Third Eye Blind album was now hitting as well. So he's just like, his world just blew up. He was not that big yet. I mean, he had done a couple of things, but he was still up and coming producer. And so this was his shining moment. And I worked with him on a rap album a while before that. I produced my own track, but he was doing a lot of it, and that's how we got connected and knew each other. And so, this is before cell phones. And I remember going to the studio, and I kept getting these, it was a pretty big studio. And so we had like secretaries and stuff, and get those little white papers you used to get where it said like you had a message. And I just barely knew Eric at the time, like, but he had, he kept calling, and I was like, man, at first I was like, whatever, he'll call back or something. And I kept missing it and missing it and missing it. And I was like, man, whatever this dude's calling about, I'm going to miss. Like, this is going to be a situation. And finally he like connects to me, and I was there at the same time, and we talked, and he was on the road. It was a few weeks in, maybe, because you guys were out for 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. And so somewhere like 3 weeks in, he finally gets a hold of me, and he's like, man, I could really use somebody to come out with this band. He told me the situation that I just told you, and he wanted to get off the road and start doing more records. So we just kind of talked about it, and it was so fast that like I had to go buy it, because that was the only way I was going to be able to like hear what was going on this record, So I went to the store and I bought it. I had a conversation with Robert, and my first show was in Canada, opening for Blur so basically their tour ended up back in California. We met up. We went out for about a week while Eric still played, because they had to kind of run up and down California, and then we all parted ways and met up in Canada and played 6 weeks with Blur, and that was kind of the start of me.
Yeah, so the whole time of our touring career, like when that record came out, Michael only missed one tour. He only missed the Sugar Ray tour, and then he was immediately, they don't know if your song's going to be that big of a hit or not, so they only plan for a 6-week tour. Then you don't know, but Walking on the Sun was such a big hit, they immediately planned a tour literally days after that one ended. We were only home for maybe 4 days or something. Then it's right back to Canada to do another tour.
I remember like being 2 weeks into that Blur tour, and it was like, you're going to be on Letterman, like it was just
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
Yeah, and on the Sugar Ray tour, Eric Valentine had made it clear. He's like, "Look, I got records to produce. This is the only tour I'm doing with you guys. You better find a keyboard player."
Eric's not a real keyboard player. I mean, he obviously plays well enough to do the stuff, but he doesn't like do that, And but man, that's kind of a tribute to him because he will come up with something great on a song, regardless of if it's in it or not.
I also think that it was because since he had produced the record and it was our first tour, I think he also he wasn't officially the front of house guy, but I think he also wanted to go out to make sure everything sounded right. The record that he made was represented properly. So he ended up being kind of the front of house guy.
Yeah.
And you stuck. I mean, clearly, 30 years later, we're talking about it. So you stuck around.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. The bands played in Stockton were mad at him. They're like, "Hey, man, you stole our keyboard player."
That's crazy to think about because obviously that's pre-internet. So your barometer for success is like sound scan numbers, it's radio requests, all that. Like it's just a completely different era.
It's true, and we could only tell at that time we knew Walking on the Sun was doing well, because the label, there's always a rep around there. You're just going up here, but it's not like these days where you can get instant, you can see it instantly. We could tell that the crowds were getting bigger and more enthusiastic for us. And, it's hard to get a gauge of it,
I disagree, but we were getting calls from Leno and Letterman, and we were going to radio stations at 8 a.m. every single day on tour. Like it was evident. I mean, there was it was just that song was a bit of a phenomenon at the time. Like it's not quite as remembered as All Star, but it was like I just think there was nothing like it, and it just sort of sat in its own place, and
nothing like it.
Weeks. People always talk about All Star, but at the initial time of both of those songs' releases, Walking on the Sun was the much bigger hit. It was like number one for like 6 weeks or something. It was it was a much bigger hit than All Star. All Star got its legs from the Shrek movie.
Yeah, but ultimately it all went really fast, and I believe like we went probably home after that Blur tour for like a few days, but like we essentially didn't come off the road for
a year.
Years, yeah. We were just out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it kept getting extended and extended. And
well, and those are long days too. If you're at a radio station at 8 a.m., pimping the music, and then you're playing shows till 10, 11, unplugged finally by midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning.
And especially for Michael, he joins that. We didn't have time to audition or anything, or even rehearse or anything. All of a sudden, we were starting a tour on Toronto, which is show day, the first day show, and there's this guy on the bus, which we had no idea who he was. We're like, I'm not sitting with you in catering and eating my lunch. You have to sit at that table. Like, who is this guy? But
wow.
Michael was such a good person. He immediately, ingratiated himself with everybody. We all loved him.
So another thing, just like probability wise, like Twan's getting into like the numbers, scans, sound scan, all that stuff. Your sound, the sound of Smash Mouth is, I couldn't really compare it to anything else. Mighty Mighty Boss Tones came to mind, just the vocal.
But like a Dirty Lounge Act version of that. You know what I mean? Like kind of a fun, a little slinky, a little backroadsy.
Yeah. And it's cool because it's like, how do you make it? It's a phenomenon to make it, but to make it not even really stick to any style of music, especially late 90s, I feel like you were kind of categorized and like you don't really fit any certain style of music. So that's a feat.
You know what the most important thing about our sound or whatever at that time was, the main thing about it was it wasn't grunge.
Yeah.
Right. Or post grunge. Yeah.
For me, I'm not obviously a keyboard player. I'm not like, I mean, I love rock and all forms of fashions and stuff, but I like everything. And to me, that's like what makes it appealing. And also like really what happened, which is what should have happened. And it was the right call. It was like, the first record is a ska punk record, and Walking on the Sun is sort of an anomaly on that record. And I don't know if you guys know the story, but it was an old song of Greg's that Kevin went through the shoebox of 4 tracks. Kevin was the original drummer.
Yeah, the flip off guy.
And he was just adamant that you got to do this song. And it was it didn't have the keyboard thing in it, or it had like this flute.
Or the line.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, but it was the song, but he was adamant, man, you got to do the song. And he was a big he was smart about music and stuff. Like he would have been a good A&R guy or something. And he was adamant, and it got kind of pushed on the record because of that. And the rest of the record is this really cool record, but it's a different thing. It's like kind of a ska punk record. And when Astro Lounge came, it was like, in a sense, it was like taking Walking on Sun and splitting that open and going, what else could you do? And so, yeah, there was a bunch of 60s stuff, but there was also a bunch of 80s stuff. And then there was a bunch of other stuff too. And there was like bossa nova song. And so it really kind of was all over the place. And to me, that was like what was interesting about it, because I don't know, Django Rock is boring to me. I mean, it's got its place, I guess, but not for.
So, Paul, you had all these songs in that bag of tricks. What if you never found that 4-track?
Well, you mean Walking on the Sun?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was Kevin's the guy that found it. And so when he found it,
right on. Yeah.
To do it, it was like, it had kind of like a, and I'm like, we were rehearsing it one day, and I told Kevin, I'm like, Greg and Steve were off in the corner talking to something. When they come back, just go like this on your ride. Just play this beat. Kind of like a Ramsey Lewis in-crowd beat, just play that just throughout, I have this bass line idea, and that's where the song changed. We, kind of revamped it right there with the do, that part. And then Greg started doing an episode, and it just rearranged the whole texture of the song. And I thought it was pretty cool. But honestly, I didn't think it was a hit, but what do I know?
But it was, right. I remember hearing it. We heard it on our coast. We heard it everywhere on the radio back in the day. And that must have just been an absolutely wild time, and probably really wild for you, Michael, just having a show up day of show. Yep, you're playing, and now you're part of it, man.
I originally was not kind of really that into it.
And not that good either. It took him a couple shows to get in. I think his first couple shows were not that great, right?
Paul's just finding out about this now, Michael. He never knew you weren't into it.
Yeah.
He also played trumpet, too. And he sat down when he played. He had to go.
So, I had a situation. I was at work at the studio out of my own office, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I should do this. And my friends were like, man, just go and come back if you don't like it. And I was like, but you got to go. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll go. And man, the whole thing just exploded. Yeah.
Smart of you to take your friend's advice. My old roommate in 2008 told me to go see about my now wife. So she's like, just go. You just got to go. She wants you to come to this party. Go to that party. And now we're married. So smart to take the advice.
Yeah.
It wasn't really fair to Michael, because when we hired him, I was okay for this 3-week tour. But then things, Walking on the Sun just keeps, it won't go away. So all of a sudden, now we're going to Europe. Now we have to go to London. Now we're on, there's all these things added. So he's kind of like trapped, sort of, but I think by that point, he was pretty much into it and was going to stay for, the long haul. But yeah, it must have changed Michael's. All of a sudden he's just on the bus. That's it. He's basically, hasn't gotten off the bus to this day, metaphorically.
No, I'm really on the bus. I'm the back.
Yeah, he's got a fancy bus there.
You guys were playing local gigs around town though before a tour, right? Or was it really just you're signed and you're going?
It was 0 to 60 because we didn't.
Wow.
We made our album ourselves. We weren't signed when we made Fush You Mang. We made the album. Our manager lent us a whole bunch of money so we could get Eric Valentine, and we made a completely pro-sounding, Eric Valentine record. Just as we'd already kind of blown it. Every label had turned us down, and we just wanted to make this record as sort of a Polaroid snapshot, just because I thought the band was breaking up. We'd already done all these showcases in LA, and about 6 months before, we had been on the cover of what this magazine in California they used to have called BAM Magazine. I don't know if you to get on the East Coast, but for California, it was like the California Rolling Stone, and it was free. It came out every 2 weeks at all the records, and it was a very important and influential magazine. And we got on the cover of it, so that was a huge deal. We're like, we're going to get signed. Anyway, we're just going to get signed, and then we didn't. It didn't happen. And we're like, wow, that was our last chance. If we still not signed, it's it. Well, let's make a record. And then that's the whole story about after we were done with the record, I thought we were done. And then that's when the story about Greg and Steve and Robert, our manager, going down to Hollywood and Carson Daly playing it at like 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and our whole life changing the next morning, you know?
Wow. Wow. Nate, have you ever heard of BAM Magazine? You're our resident magazine expert.
I don't. Must have been out of my reach at the time.
You were getting Kerrang, but you weren't getting BAM, dude. Come on.
We were in Kerrang.
There you go.
Nice.
That's
I love
where
that.
Nate found it. So Smash Mouth being a band in 2026 was not on the bingo card back then.
I'm
Back
sorry.
then, if someone said, "Hey, Paul, in 30 years, Smash Mouth is still going to be a thing,"
Oh, absolutely.
not a chance. No.
I don't know what I would do, but who would have known, you know?
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm sure Michael will say the same thing.
Yeah, Michael, when you start that touring in Toronto in, 97, 98, whatever, are you thinking you're still making music with Smash Mouth today?
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think. No, I just had no idea. I was.
The other thing you got to remember is we were also having so much fun. It was so fun, Michael was having a lot of fun. We all were.
And it's also new. Like every moment and experience, whether it's the radio play, it's the late shows, the big tours, the tours get bigger, the record sales, the platinum plaques, it's all new.
Very exciting, very fun. That Michael got to share. Now we're best friends, and our first experience together was he had just joined the band, and we had to do something at Disney World, some TV thing, and I got us kicked off with this bus, and we were lost in Disney World till like sunrise. Like we could,
we weren't sure where to go.
It was all my fault.
That's amazing.
That way,
So what keeps you guys coming back? I mean, we're going to talk to you here about the new record, which we're talking to you a couple days before it drops, but what keeps you guys coming back to making music and now making music again at Smash Mouth?
I mean, this is what we do, we're all really full-time, all the time music people. We've never stopped like touring and it's sort of to be honest, it's like by the graciousness of the universe, like we just get to keep playing these great songs, and there's still a want to hear them. And, I personally, I see it as like a blessing, because I just love to play. I love to make music and I love to play it. And man, what a great thing.
I agree, Michael, and it's such a blessing to find these people, like to find someone that you like the same kind of music and you're at the same level of, musicianship and you see eye to eye and you understand it. That's a rare thing. And so you sort of, I love my bandmates and really, really appreciate them. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, Michael and I were in Las Vegas. We had a night off. Everyone else that hadn't come in yet. What are we going to do on our night off? Well, we just, I went over to his hotel room and we just jammed for 3 hours together. It's nice when your hobby becomes your job.
Yeah. I mean, who you surround yourself with is huge. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. Like Tony said, we've been doing this for 6 years. It's the three of us. We've known each other. Actually, I've known Tony since '96. So I probably went to school and showed him Fushu Mang when we were 11.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
We're watching kids grow up together. Our kids grew up together. It's wonderful. It's really been a wonderful ride.
I'm like, hey, Anthony, show me what you got in your Easter basket. And he's like, Fushu Mang. I don't know what that means. And this 3EB, I don't know what that means either.
Yeah.
I got to admit, I love that first Third Eye Blind album.
So good.
Everyone used to get mad at me for liking. I'm like, that's a great record. I remember Greg and Steve didn't like it that much, or they didn't like it, or whatever it was, but I thought it was great.
All timer. Yeah. And that was a cool era that like us kind of finding music as, 12-year-olds and being, obviously the times are different, right? We get the radio versus having streaming and all that stuff. And less was coming at you back then, right? Like everything is coming at you all at once now. Back then, you get to like live with stuff a little more and get a record in your Easter basket and you put it on, you listen to it 30 times and then you on to the next one. Like it's far different.
Yeah. But like Michael used to say, it's like back then you had a choice. You had 3 choices: Us, Sugar Ray, or Third Eye Blind, or whatever. And that's But the best thing about that Third Eye Blind record was Orion Salazar, the bass playing. The bass playing on that record is phenomenally. It's so great. It makes the whole record.
As you as a bass player, do you just ISO when you hear a song? Do you just isolate on the bass?
I do a lot of times. I'm sure Michael does with keyboards too.
He lost his high end years ago.
Paul doesn't even know there's a keyboardist in the
Yeah,
band.
he doesn't know.
I don't need him in my monitor, you know. No, but I'm sure Michael. You know, when we toured with them, we became friends with them. I certainly became friends with Orion. But yes, I do listen to the bass a lot. Obviously, I'm checking it, but yeah. And then it was nice to become friends with Orion as well. And yeah, his bass playing on that record, to me, it's like the best bass playing of any record of the 90s. I really think it made that record.
Orion's a bit of an East Bay legend, and he used to play in this band Fungo Mungo, and he was, he was great.
Yeah, he was already the guy, but before he joined Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, I like Fungo Mungo.
I've listened to that record so many times over 30 years, and I'm going to now go back and listen to it and try to ISO on the bass, because I want to hear what you're hearing.
With different ears.
It's so good.
There's a lot of great. I mean, Urbano's great on it, which is the drummer who also played on All Star and ended up being a member of Smash Mouth for a time.
Let's talk new record.
All right.
Seventh studio album, Mercury Comet. I think by the time this episode drops, the record will have been out for a week or two. So it's out. If you're listening to this,
it's already number one.
Exactly. It's already number one. You love it. And if you haven't listened to it, pause this episode. It'll still be here. Go listen to it. Go listen to it again. But seventh studio album, when you guys start writing this thing, are there guardrails? Are there like unspoken Smash Mouth guardrails, or just let's let it rip?
Kind of both in a way. I mean, it started with our manager, Robert, telling us, you need to make a record, and make a record like your first record. Make it like Fushimang. Make it some ska. I don't know what it was. Maybe people were writing him letters or whatever and saying, we want to hear, go back to the roots and make a record like Fushimang. So that was sort of some parameters, but that was fun for us. That let's do that. The songs we've been writing, we've been releasing some singles the last couple of years. They're kind of more R&B type and like not really. So our manager was the one that planted the seed and do this, and that was nearly 2 years ago. So yeah, and I'll let Michael give his take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's another cool thing about it is that Paul's kind of had this store of songs that he's built up, and it's cool to like finally get them like done in a way that's really representative of what they need to be. And it was super fun, and it's good to finally have some new stuff out in the world. And really stoked about it.
And everyone really stepped up. It was fun to make. At first you're ever like, okay, how's this going to turn out? And then as you get going and, everyone starts contributing their thing, especially Michael, throughout the whole, the keyboards are they're just perfect. But that comes from playing together for 30 years. We know each other so well, but that makes it more fun. And everyone did it. Sean, our guitar player, Randy, of course, and everyone really stepped up. So when you're about halfway through it, or a little more than halfway, it starts taking on its own character and becoming its own monster or whatever. And it's a good monster, it was like, all right, this is going to be good. It's, everything's working here, So I think it has a really good vibe. I like it. I think it kind of cooks.
It's definitely catchy. It's got some, I couldn't help but listen to the singles that are out right now. Couldn't help but be moving around and shaking around, doing chores around the house, just trying to get ready to talk to you guys. I was like, there's some tracks here. This is fun. I enjoy this. All
right, cool. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to, obviously we don't want to stray too far from the Smash Mouth sound. We know what people try to keep it kind of groovy. I think and keep it catchy and make it fun and really rocking and kind of hard hitting too. So it's a fun record. It's not boring.
Yeah, I think you guys kept that ethos, and also maybe I'm speaking out of term here, but like maybe there's no pressure. Are you guys on a label right now? I don't think you are, right? So you can kind of do what you want.
There's really not a whole lot of pressure. It's kind of like we already won. Is it just for fun? And
awesome.
Like Michael said, this is what we do. We're musicians. This is what we write music and we record it. So it was a long time coming to make a record. And I'm really glad we did it, and we're going to keep recording, original music, forever. So
And that was the question we had for you, is like, what keeps the creative juices flowing? But I mean, I can hear it in both of your voices. You just love doing it. Like, it's the thing that you've just enjoyed doing with each other and the rest of the guys forever.
People are like, why'd you make a new record? It's like, why wouldn't we make a new record? You know, like, it's what we do.
I do something with all this crap behind me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to me, it's like, it's funny when everybody kind of does that. You know, he should retire. Or like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm never buying David Lee Roth tickets, but I think it's great. Like, if you still want to do it and people still want to see it, like, go have fun. And
yeah, exactly. And
you know,
stuff. So it's a good time, you know. For we're having a, you know, we're really enjoying something and having a lot of fun. You know, it's been great.
There's like this Duke Ellington quote. They asked him, like, what is he going to do when he retires? And he's like, retire to what? You know, like, what do I do? You know?
Exactly.
You know, most people retire and sit on the porch and play a guitar or something. You know, we
you're already there. You're already set up and ready to go.
Like I said, it's easy to work hard when your hobby is your job.
I love that, because you do get not I'm saying you guys, but you do hear that with bands. It's like, oh, you know, when are you guys going to be done, or another album? But it's like, guys, out of anything on the planet, we chose to be musicians 30 years ago. Why would we stop now?
I know. I hate people that complain about it. And I'm sick of it. I'm not going to do this, but I'm old. Like, you know, how like rude is that? You know, how unappreciative is that? You know, we're grateful for our. You know, we're really grateful. We know we got lucky. We won the lottery. We appreciate it. You know, we respect it.
And for the fans too, man. Like you said, putting out new music, and then anytime I'm in festival gigs, especially they go a band, Smash Mouth or Third Eye Blind, like rounds out the bill. It's like nice. You get a little, you know, nostalgia in there too, and you guys are looking like you're having a blast on stage. So there's nothing to lose there.
Exactly.
We have a pretty unique space in the music business where, you know, I always make the joke that we're the king of the free show, but I don't mean it sarcastically. Like, it's really an honor and it's a cool thing. And we basically play a lot of like city summer festivals and things of that nature that are usually free to the people. And we get huge crowds. I mean, you know, it could be up to 15,000 people just in some town or city, you know. And the interesting thing about it is that a lot of bands, you know, would be also doing these kinds of things, and they kind of scratch one thing and they scratch another, and we scratch like 5, and those 5 are like, we're multi-generational. Everybody, that song has never gone away. That movie has never gone away. That movie's never got dated or is called uncool. It's one of those things that just gets passed on generation after generation. We are a super high energy, like, I wouldn't say heavy band, but like a powerful band. But it's all happy and in good nature. So there isn't kind of like a darkness to it that may not appeal to everybody. There's the song recognizability of like, luckily for us, like we've had more, you know, you have 1 hits, 2 hits, like people remember you. But when you have 5, you're kind of graduated to the level where if you can pepper 5 across an hour and a half,
yeah,
like you're at a certain place, you know. And I'm not sure if the other ones are those other 5 that I mentioned, but like all of those things combined is like, we really have this place that we make people happy and they want to see us and they're very like excited. And I've done shows where you kind of see maybe people that aren't sure, maybe they're like rockers or something, and by the end of it, they're just like fully in.
We got it.
You know, they're maybe like, it's kind of a pop band, or I sort of remember the song or whatever. And then by the end, they don't know that we like or play as hard as we do. And
that's to our advantage. That's our biggest advantage, is our secret weapon. People think like, oh, the Shrek band, hey now, and then we just come out, you know.
Yeah,
that's got to be a cool feeling, winning them over.
We usually get them right away.
It
is, yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I don't know how well you guys keep up online, but there are rankings and lists online, and the lists are non-heavy bands with heavy sounding names, and you guys are at the top of the list. Smash Mouth.
right.
I'm being serious. I don't know if you guys have seen this online. It is a thing.
But that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. I remember the one thing that was kind of like annoying, I guess, was when this all first went down, you know, there, other than people that exclusively knew the music, like people didn't know. So, and I'd see people at hometown or whatever, and like, what have you been doing or whatever? Yeah, I'm out with this band, and what are they called? Smash Mouth. What? Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was such a, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of an interesting too, where that name, as much as it almost isn't really good or it doesn't ring that well, it also makes you say it twice and you don't forget it. It's got a certain appeal to it. So
Yeah.
Well, there's so many heavy bands that are like Smash Mouth would be a cool name, but it's taken and it's pretty iconic at this point, so we can't use it.
I wish there was a better backstory, but it was just one day our drummer Kevin Coleman just came in and said, "Smash Mouth. That's the name of our band. We're going to be called Smash Mouth," and that's it. And I was like, I don't really like it. It's kind of like violent sounding and kind of dumb. But that was it. It was just there's not much more of a story to it. Our original drummer insisted on it,
and he was a football fanatic, and that's all. He was literally ripping off Ditka. And like,
Smash Mouth football, baby.
Wasn't it Smash Mouth a Go-Go was the first?
At first, he wanted Smash Mouth a Go-Go.
Because he liked football.
Drop the a Go-Go. Perfect.
He set himself up right. Maybe he did that on purpose. Like, I'll try Smash Mouth a Go-Go. And I was go, okay, well then just plain Smash Mouth.
Was it just one word to start? Wasn't it just one word, Smash Mouth continuous?
I'm not to this day.
I've never clarified. I always wonder when I write it, and I'm like, I think I just do whatever feels right at the moment.
Officially, it's two words.
That's funny. It is a great name, and the thing is like we've talked about on this podcast. This will be our like 300 and almost 350th episode. Sometimes a band name, it starts as one thing, but then it just becomes into pop culture. And it's just, you guys couldn't be anything else but Smash Mouth. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like if you say a word enough times over and over and over again, it loses its meaning or identity or something.
Yep.
Yeah. The band has shaped that. So like, it could be the most aggressive thing, Smash Mouth, but it's not in context. It's like, no, that is Smash Mouth. Those guys couldn't be anything else but Smash Mouth.
Yeah, it's funny how it's we're really lucky that it's a household name. A quick funny story. Literally, I had trouble. Our last show was in Rochester, New York, and I was having trouble in airports getting home. And they lost my luggage. They lost one of my bass cases, my bass guitars, and I'm not in a very good mood. I'm talking to the baggage claim person in the San Francisco airport, and she's like, "Can you describe your bass case for me for when it comes in? We know it looks like," and I'm describing it, and then she's an older woman, and so I didn't even think she was a music fan. So I'm like, yeah, anything that recognizable on it? I'm like, well, it says Smash Mouth bass on it. She's like, oh, really? Oh yeah, that's right. My band's kind of famous.
Yeah, right. Like I've heard them before. I think. Yeah. So yeah, we were on the eve. We're talking to you on the eve of the record drop. It's called Mercury Comet. So it's out there now if you're listening to this, and you should go spin it because it's good. And the singles we've heard are awesome, and they're toe tappy, and they're fun, and they're Smash Mouth through and through. So definitely worth your time to go check out. You guys some gigs coming up, right? You're playing a couple before this drops, but then you're playing Summer of Sound in Skokie, Illinois, late August, playing in Canada on 9/3, and then you're playing in Jacksonville on 11/12, right?
Yes.
Anything else though? Those are the big ones coming up the rest of the year.
No, there's still adding shows. Things are still coming.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing in Quebec this weekend. So yeah, I think there's a few more shows than that. Maybe that's like from the website or something. But yeah, we're quite busy.
Yeah.
Got AI'd again, Michael. It happened. Maybe I have shitty information again, right?
I know, right?
I look on the internet, I get screwed again.
Michael's the smartest guy in our band.
Just say the opposite of whatever AI says.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I'm excited. We have a trip to Mexico City this year. And that's a big one.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some shows for chances for people to catch you and hear some of the new music. It's going to happen here before the year's out.
We're also opening for the Rolling Stones. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
Saturday Night Live this week. Tune in.
Yeah, Saturday Night. Yeah.
Well, could be it's summer. It's reruns.
Oh yeah.
At this point with you guys, is the live gig, is that the home run for you guys, or is it making the music, or is it both? Like, do you just love it all at this point still?
I do music 24 hours a day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like, so I love to play and I love to write, and I kind of think of them as different things. Like they're definitely different experiences. Lucky I get to do both pretty consistently, and I get to do a lot of different stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I got the bug, man. I'm always trying to get better too, and yeah, just
I
into
never
it.
of our live show. It's hard to get sick of because it's just a party. It's really fun. It's a fun show, and we're having fun too.
Yeah, the music's fun. I mean, and there's a lot of room to play around, and it's loose and
There is for you.
yeah, I guess for you it's a little more. But yeah, it's just a super fun, high energy show. I love like Zach is a really good front man.
Yeah.
So if you kind of like if me and Paul had to talk, forget about it. It would go nowhere. But we're great in what we do on stage, and like to have somebody that kind of just brings the whole thing together and kind of says, I think he says great stuff, and he just kind of keeps it interesting, and so it's fun. It's really cool.
It sounds like a cliche, but it is true. We are friends. We are all, we're friends. So it makes it so much more enjoyable. I couldn't imagine being in a band where everyone hates each other, and there's a lot of bands like that.
How do you got to obviously be able to spend that much time with each other if you're going to be doing all this stuff together for all these years, and obviously bringing Zach in and having somebody who can play the crowd like that at a live show, it goes a million miles, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to Steve's attribute, he was always good at that, and we needed somebody that had that center focused energy and that like kind of that captivates the audience, and he's different than him, and but they both have a very good talent at just kind of talking to the crowd and saying funny stuff and all that.
Natural born frontmen.
Yeah.
Well, it's a testament to you guys. I've listened to other band interviews where they made like this clear distinction. Like when we started this band, it was for fun. And then it morphed into now we're a recording artist, right? And then now we have to hit the road. And those are very different things, And you guys are still doing all of it, right?
I love both. I really do. I love playing, and I love the studio too. We're lucky. I'm lucky. Like, Michael has his own studio in Nashville. I kind of have my own. I have my own studio in San Jose because our office is here. The Smash Mouth office is in San Jose, and it has in it a fully functional recording studio with an engineer. So if I have a song or some idea, I have the facility to make it real, like within a day, which is incredibly lucky and a great privilege. And I take advantage of it. And and same with Michael, we record all the time on our own anyways. And then we get to go out and play live and have a good time. So yeah, we get the best of both worlds. Michael and I are very similar in that way, where we love live and recording pretty much equally.
Yeah, because some people will say they like one thing over the other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, get me in the studio. I'd rather be in the studio. I just want to do that stuff. And some people be like, I love playing the songs we made in front of people. So to love both and still be doing it 30 years out, that's awesome. Like that's so refreshing.
Yeah, one of these days I'll actually learn how to play bass. Ask Michael. Mike, no matter what I play, Michael plays all my parts on his keyboard.
Right here, my left hand. This is Paul. This is Paul, actually. Been for the last 15.
We had to put a note on his keyboard.
Sorry.
We have a bass player.
Yeah.
So, Paul, do you have the most famous whistle in recorded music history?
I was just going to ask that.
Sorry.
Let's see. What could have been more? What could be a more famous whistle? Let me see.
Roger Whittaker.
Okay, there's a good
Magic Dragon, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe Axl Rose at the beginning of that song. Yeah, he kind of whistles.
Okay, the top 5. You got to be in the top 5.
I would say me and Paul are both really huge Andy Griffith fans, and
there you go. Yes,
that's probably the.
I know that one. Yep, I know that one.
All time.
That makes my mom Whistler's mother.
Whistler.
Sorry, that was terrible. Michael's going to be mad at me for that one. When we were recording it, Eric Valentine DV the best whistler, so I got to do the whistling.
Oh, and it was picking it up, and then it stopped.
It stopped picking it up in the recording.
I don't know why it does that. That's the one thing we've tried. We've had a friend of ours, Greg from the band Zebra. He wasn't the band Zebra head. He's tried to plug his guitar in and play for us, and it just never comes through.
Doesn't pick it up.
And I'm too novice to figure it out, especially when we're in different
It
locations.
probably identifies it as music and cancels it out as
Exactly what happens. Yeah.
yeah.
Just cancels me out.
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah,
Because
like
that would have been cool. I would have loved to have just had that on the live on the podcast, but
Paul, get closer to the iPhone and see if it picks it up.
all right, I have a huge.
we got the beginning. We got the beginning.
You
And
got
then,
the
and, then, and then Zoom was like, that doesn't sound like talking. Let's kill it.
Yeah.
Man.
That was pretty cool.
Well, guys, this has been a blast. We're excited for new Smash Mouth music, which we probably didn't think that was going to happen until now, 14 years later, and we're going to get a new original record.
It's a good record.
Yeah, man. Give it a spin.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, Paul and Michael, really appreciate talking with you guys. Really excited for this. Really excited for all the insight you gave us that we've been wondering about for 30 years and for new music.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us.
Our
great.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for listening to Podio Slave. We are at Podio Slave on X, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. It's at Podio Slave. We are Podio Slave Podcasts on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. If you want to contact us, hit us up at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you've got a minute, leave us a review. Tell a friend. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you.